Sometimes riffs just aren't played the way that you think they are. This is one of those times. Hey there kids, and welcome to a brand new installment of Weekend Wankshop. Here with your best buddy, Uncle Ben. On today's installment of Weekend Wankshop, we're going to be talking about how to play the intro riffs to Ocean Planet by GOJIRA, which is the first song of theirs that I ever heard back in the day. After discovering that there were no accurate tabs or lessons for this one online, I decided to do my usual amount of obsessive research and went through about every live video of the band playing the song that I could, and slow motion, frame by frame, really watch closely the guitar and bass players' hand movements and stuff to see if I could track down exactly what they were doing. Because trying to hear what's going on the record is almost impossible. The drums are so loud and the guitars are really palm muted and distorted and down-tuned, so definitely makes it hard to tell what's going on. But after watching all those live videos, I've come up with exactly what GOJIRA is up to with that riff. And it's actually more simple than what I imagined. And as always, you guys can find a full tab for this week's lesson over on my Instagram page at Ben Eller Guitars. Be sure to give me a follow, find the tab for this week's lesson, then upload a video of yourself shredding through it, along with the hashtag
Weekend Wankshop.
So first things first, you're going to need to tune your guitar down one whole step to play this. D, G, C, F, A, D. That's down one whole step in standard tuning. That's kind of GOJIRA's usual tuning. They use drop C and stuff too sometimes, but D standard is what this one was in. So after all the whale noises and stuff, the first thing that you hear in this riff is one of GOJIRA's trademarks, which is their use of inverted power chords. This is just basically barring the bottom two strings on the same fret. They do this in a ton of their riffs and it sounds really thick and heavy. Again, that's a Morbid Angel thing from back in the day, probably where they got it from. So what you're gonna do here is you're gonna bar the bottom two strings on 4 and do a downstroke and an upstroke and palm mute. I forgot to mention that. This is all really heavily palm muted. So down and up on 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just a single downstroke on both of the open strings. Just like that. After that, what you're gonna do is to play that 3rd fret low E with a big old juicy pinch harmonic. And it's definitely a certain pitch. I'm kind of like right in between the two pickups of my Les Paul right here. Because if you're here, it's a much different kind of pitch, so just try to get yourself right there in the middle. And then the part after this is the part that's the most kind of up for dispute, but it's just doing a couple more of those one finger power chords. This is 2 downstrokes on 2 and 1 downstroke on the 1st fret, okay? Now a lot of the tabs that I see for this have people going like walking down 3-2 open or something like that, which would be a little bit more common. But again, watch the live videos. There's a great pro shop video of them playing a festival in France where you can clearly see the movement from the 2nd finger to the 1st finger for that little tag right there. So you got 4, 3, 2, 1, open, pinch harmonic, 2, 1. Then you get to the really majestic kind of bit here. Now this was a different rhythm than what I thought that it was on the record there. The bass really kind of catches my ear right there. So the picking rhythm here is a little bit different. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be holding down the 2nd fret G string, preferably with your middle finger, and play the 3rd fret low E string. I'm using my 3rd finger to do that. And what you're going to do is at first you're just going to go in between the E string and the G string 3 times. Like that. Then what you're going to do is to have both strings on the 2nd fret. So you'll notice I'm using my middle finger again on that 2nd G and my 1st finger on that 2nd low E. And the rhythm here is a little bit different. Notice how quickly the first 3 notes went by. So that section is... Do that again so you can catch that groove. And again, that rhythm of the picking is a lot different than the groove that the bass guitar is putting down, so it makes for a cool kind of layered sound. So now you should have this. The second time through the riff, whenever they're doing the majestic part, they add in a little slide on that G string. Just like that. And again, all that is all the 3/2 parts. Then when you get down here to the 2/2 parts, that's the E, the G, the E. And then whenever you hit that G again, slide up a whole step to the 4th fret. Then just go right back to 2. Just like that. The two guitar players kind of articulate that a little bit differently. It sounds like one's got some vibrato on there and maybe the other one doesn't, or the vibratos are just kind of a different rate. So yeah, again, you get that cool layered sound there. So now you got two different versions of the riff, the one without the slide and the one with. Now, after they play through that a couple times, they get to that really big, heavy chord part. This part always kind of stumped me. I could never get it to sound right on one guitar. And then I realized that's because it's two guitars doing slightly different voicings. Again, watch live, you'll see one guy's hand position is here, the other guy's hand position is here. It's essentially just kind of like a little flat 5 kind of dyad. Ooh. And what one guitar is doing here is the open low E, the first A, and the second D. And again, that pattern is kind of weird. And the other guitar is doing the same thing, but just up 3 frets. So I've got the open low E, the 4th A, and the 5th D. If I was playing this on one guitar, I would probably play that voicing just because those notes stand out a little bit more to our ears. So again, one guitar is here on 1 and 2, the other guitar is here on 4 and 5. And I'll tell you what, whenever you're playing those punches, don't rely on, you know, a really heavy noise gate or your producer to chop out all the noise in between the hits, stuff like that. You got to be really tight with that right hand and with that left hand. You'll notice that I'm fretting the chord here with fingers 1 and 2, and using fingers 3 and 4, I'm using those to come in and mute those strings in between those hits. Now, whenever I'm muting here, I'm also muting with the right hand too, just kind of karate chopping the guitar in between the strings. And remember that if the hand is too far back, see, you'll still get that rumble. But if you're kind of towards the middle, it sounds really tight. So be sure to get up close and personal with that neck pickup right here, so that way your muting is right there in the middle. So there you go, guys, another awesome riff for the good old wank bank. Let me know in the comments below what other Gojira riffs you guys would like to see covered here on the channel. They have such a unique guitar style, I'd love to explore it more. Let me give you another thing to hopefully look forward to. A couple months ago on my channel, I put up that Stuff Mastodon Does video that you guys seem to enjoy so much, where we kind of talked about some of the signature isms of Mastodon's guitar style. I've been working on a Stuff Gojira Does that I'd like to have out in maybe a week or two, hopefully time permitting. So be sure to keep on the lookout for that if you want to learn more about Gojira's signature style. Thanks again for watching this video. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe and mash that little bell thing for notifications of new videos every single week. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Ben Eller Guitars, over on my Facebook fan page at facebook.com/Uncle Ben Eller. And also, if you're a horror movie fan like me, be sure to listen to my weekly horror movie review podcast, Dead and Lovely, available on iTunes, Overcast, or whatever your podcast app of choice is. Thanks again for watching. Now get away from this doggone computer and go play some guitar. Less clicking, more picking.